So, iFVGs of the week. Take it back to Monday. On Monday, we had no news. So, we see this new week get created. And everyone's probably thinking, oh my god, we have to fill this, we have to fill this. But, we haven't gotten any... Oh, what happened? We haven't gotten any bearish order flow. The market opens. We chop, we chop, we chop. We take out the highs. And then we take out the low created here, respect the gap to the left here. And so we're probably still bullish. Everything fails. I would say the best trade for AM this day was either this trade here or this one looks like it was probably a break even. Might not have been. Maybe you get lucky. I guess you could have gotten lucky here. Maybe this isn't a break even. But we'll say either this trade here or this 1 minute short to the downside. Unless you guys can think of something that might have been better than this. I mean, this is at all-time highs. Oh, I still have my Halloween layout on. Well, let me change this. Okay. I think you're right about Halloween dying down. Our house didn't have any trick-or-treaters for sure. Why did that just... Oh, right, I have to do this. So, what do we think? Is this setup here better, the short, or is the long better? Type 1 for the short, type 2 for the long. Yeah. We're all saying the long is better. Okay, I'll go with that one. I think I agree with you guys. Main reason being, I mean, both of these trades get alerted by the indicator, so that's good. But this one doesn't really have delivery, whereas this one does. So I think I tend to agree with you. Even though the draw here is worse. We'll just do both. Oops. I had to change two. We'll just do both. I appreciate your guys' input, but I think I'm just going to say both. So if you were bearish bias, this short was probably an A setup. So no delivery, which is why it's an A setup. Liquidity sweep. Good draw. Singular gap. Good momentum. Indicator. Alerted with volume. And then OB created on inverse. Anything else? That'd be about it. Good break even maybe. Okay, and then for this long, we have another A setup. Singular gap, good momentum, good break even. Liquidity sweep, delivery from 1 minute. Significant gap. Bad draw. Okay. So this is my second favorite setup, by the way, because anytime price takes out a low inside of a fair value gap and then we get a V shape, this is a very high win rate trade. This setup is just okay because delivered. So that's Monday. Tuesday. Tuesday was really bad, I remember. So we ran out buy side, hit all-time highs. We're respecting this 15-minute gap to the left. So you were probably bullish today as long as we respected that. And then we get 10 a.m. reversal kind of here. But not the greatest target because you're targeting AM high. So I think here what you do is you wait for price to pull back maybe into discount more. So you would measure premium discount here. Then this is obviously discount of the range. So I don't know, maybe you take, yeah, there's just nothing, huh? I mean, here at least we have LR generated, so this would be the idea for the long. And then is there like a 2-minute at least? It's a 3-minute here. Maybe you take this 3-minute trade, go break even. I mean, I think this is probably the best setup of the day here, right? Or this short, but this was invalid. I'd probably say the 3-minute long here is the best. I don't really think that anything here is that great. So yeah, I would go 3-minute long. And then, yeah, this is going to be like an A- setup. Bad momentum. What is this, during the macro? Yeah, in macro. What is AMI? I think you misheard me. It's AM high. Singular gap. Swept. Liquidity. Champy. That trade broke your heart? Yeah, I didn't get break even on that one. But I also didn't hold it for as long as I should have. Good break even. Anything else about this trade? Delivery from 1 minute / 15 minute. I guess indicator alerted it too. So yeah, that's it for this setup there. Was there a PM trade or no? I don't think so. This trade during PM was pretty crazy, this 3-minute short. I mean, okay. Little honorable mention here. This is the best trade of the day. This is from PM. Soup the high, really bearish momentum. Singular gap, good break even. You would expect power of 3 here on the daily. So this is like price putting in its daily wick. So this is a really good trade here. Honorable mention. Okay, let's see here. This was pre-FOMC on Wednesday. I'm not even going to look at this session. We'll skip straight to PM. And we will look at the FOMC trades here. I believe we also had earnings after hours too. The best trade of FOMC was... Oh yeah, there wasn't even a good trade during FOMC, huh? We just kind of chopped. Huh. I I don't know. I mean, I guess this short, but that's against the bias. Yeah, everything would break even as far as the longs go to target the data high. So yeah, no trades on Wednesday. So we'll just say iFVG of Wednesday was probably, I don't know. Yeah, there's just not a good trade here because you're not going to short here with the data high above. I forgot to mention that. Hey, for those of you in the mentorship, that we just had this call about, the other reason why this short isn't good is because we have the data high above here, so you're shorting with conflicting draws. Okay. Thursday. Here you go. Thursday, we had this reversal after price tapped the 4 hour, and then we swipe out liquidity to the downside, swipe out buy side. This is the setup I took from that day. This was A plus. This was just a break-even trade though, unfortunately. But yeah, this setup was very, very, very good. The reason why is because we had delivery out of the 1 hour here. I believe it was here, right? Yeah, 10 a.m. And then just a very bearish reaction. This looks like AMD. So I'm going to say this was A plus, short, singular gap, liquidity sweep. This is my favorite setup, by the way. Somebody asked me what my favorite setup is. This is my favorite setup when we tap into a higher time frame for value gap, and the for value gap is unfilled, and then we get a reaction in inverse. Draw on liquidity here is unfilled. 15-minute below. Good momentum. What else? Kind of like a 10 a.m. reversal here. AMD. That's about it. Would I take this training trade if it's against my bias? Training trade? What do you mean? Oh yeah, macro too. Thank you. Where's the AMD? Okay. It's lower time frame AMD, so we accumulate here. Okay. Manipulate up. Anytime you see a candle like this is a very obvious stop run. Okay. So this is how you know it's a good manipulation leg. A good manipulation leg is always going to be a stop run. Okay. And then what follows manipulation here? Distribution, right? And we know that AMD is going to be good if it aligns with an external liquidity sweep, or if we're delivering from a higher time frame gap, because those two things usually lead to the next side of the curve, which aligns with the AMD structure. Okay. How do you know when we reverse off a gap immediately, or if we get manipulation before the gap? How do I know when to take which setup? Okay. The first setup will form like where we just get the immediate reversal and there's no manipulation leg. If there's no fair value gaps immediately to the left of where we're reversing, okay, when we get the entry, and there's draws and liquidity above, if on that initial reversal we're running into fair value gaps on the entry, that's where you need to wait for structure and wait for a manipulation leg. So maybe it's better if I visualize it. Okay. So let's say we have liquidity here, okay? And then price runs down, elevator, 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 stalls, 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 bearish candle, down, back up, okay? This is when you take that immediate reversal, okay? That's when you expect price to pump and go to the next high, especially if we're like tapping into a higher time frame for value gap, like a 4 hour, 1 hour, even like a 15-minute, or if we like soup right into the gap, right? So imagine this is your fair value gap here, okay? Price soups it for value gap and goes right back up. Those are the two scenarios, right? And your entry is going to be like here, and your entry is going to go break even when we tap into that for value gap that we form, like a 5-minute or whatever. But there shouldn't be anything in the way here to stall, right? The other setup, which you talked about, is going to look something like this, where we come down, come down, come down, come down, straight elevator down, okay? And then V-shape back up, okay, like this. And we've ran past the low and whatever. But in the process of us going up here, you're running into all these for value gaps, okay? This is where you wait for structure, okay? This is where you wait for price to reject. This is where you don't enter a trade. If it pumps without you, oh well, right? This scenario, you just have to wait. So here, maybe we get a pullback to 50. We come back down, chop around for a bit, manipulate, up, down, whatever, okay? And then we get a massive stop run, and then here, and then this is when you enter, okay? And you target buy side up here. That's how you tell the two. Okay? Would you take a trade from an unfilled higher time frame gap if it's against your bias, but we have good momentum? Yeah, if there's a good draw above. It wouldn't be against my bias though. Actually, scratch that. I would never take a trade against my bias. If we're getting delivery from an unfilled higher time frame gap and we get an inverse, that means that order flow is aligned with my draw most likely, which means that it's with my bias. So no. Okay, last day, Friday. Friday, there was like 1,000,001 trades. I thought Friday was an amazing trading day for PM. Really easy to understand what we were doing. So, for the AM session, 9:30 open, start to dump. Oh yeah, the 1 minute long. Okay, this is the best trade of the day. Once again, another very obvious AMD setup, right? Target here, because that's the last unfilled 5 minute gap. Where is it? Here you go. Unfilled 5 minute. And then, yeah, indicator alerts it. So this is A plus setup. Did we have delivery here out of like a 4 hour gap too? I feel like we did. Or there was like an SMT or, yeah, this 1 hour. That's what it was. Okay. We have 1 hour. Higher time frame delivery, 1 hour gap. Singular gap, and good momentum. AMD, turtle soup, good break even. 5 minute unfilled gap, draw. What else? Anything? Yeah, that's it, right? Yeah, this trade was very good. Other than that, just some honorable mentions. PM had a very nice trade. Lunch had a very nice trade. There was this 3 minute short, which Dodgy talked about. I actually texted him after this trade was playing out, and I was like, dude, did you see this 3 minute? Because I thought he was still awake. He was still sending messages in Discord. He's like, dude, I'm touching grass. So he didn't take this, but this was very good because we get a soup of the high here, singular gap, really good momentum, and then obvious, retracement here, right? If we were truly bullish here, would we be rejecting from this last gap like this? Or would we be breaking structure, making new highs, seeing price pump up? So this is the market's way of tilting its hand. We retrace to the last gap in the leg. The last gap is usually going to be the strongest roadblock. Reject with a lot of bear structure, get that inverse. And then, yeah, obviously we start to dump. Trump announcement, Trump tweet. Maybe it knocks you out. Maybe you're already out of the position because we hit the low. And then more bearish structure. We get this 3 minute inverse. At this point, it's very obvious to see that we're going for these lows here. We get an SMT at previous day low, but we hit our data low target. So if you took this 3 minute, that's absolutely fine. You can take shorts and discount as long as there's a good target. In this case, it was a data low, so this is a totally fine setup to take. And then after we take out the data low, we get the SMT. We start to see bullish structure get put in. Right here is when you should start thinking about flipping bullish. When we inverse this 3 minute here, this is when you should go, okay, we're officially bullish. And then, yeah, at that point, it's just off to the races. Price comes up, hits its data high that we left behind. And yeah, that's about it. So, any questions? I believe that's iFVGs of the week. What do I do in the weekend for trading? Nothing. I usually take a break. This will be the extent of my trading for this week. I like doing iFVGs of the week, to be honest, because it gives me a nice recap of the trades for the week and allows me to kind of contextualize more about some of the things that happened throughout the week. It's almost like a mini journal review where I'm able to go in and kind of see some of the stuff. So 30-second at 9:47. Let's take a look here. 30-second at 9:47. Okay. I got it. I know why this failed. This setup failed because it wasn't good. No, but for real, the reason why the setup failed is because the 30-second inversing here doesn't tell you enough about price to actually make you think that we are bullish. And then the other reason why is actually this isn't a fail, this is a break even. Whenever price taps into a fair value gap, in this case it was this 3-minute, that's when you should go to break even. So yeah, in order to be actually bullish here, you'd want to wait for this 3-minute to break. So this higher time frame gap here is the inverse that will actually confirm bullish order flow. This 30-second doesn't really do that. And then another reason why this failed is because of time. Usually when we're going to reverse in the morning, it'll be during the 10 a.m. macro, not before that. Unless we sweep liquidity, which in this case we did not. I mean, yeah, we swept out London and Asia, but when price starts to break structure past that, then that tells you, okay, we're not going to see a reversal. We'll probably have to wait for structure, in this case, you know, A and D, right? We just kind of went over that with me drawing earlier, right, where we had liquidity and then price broke through it. If there's not a soup reaction there, if there's not a bullish reaction, then you have to wait for extra confirmation. Okay. What would be good for noobs to do on the weekend in your experience? Enjoy the weekend. Take a psychological mental break from trading. Not everything has to be hammering your brain with, you know, knowledge 24/7. If you work throughout the week though, and you weren't able to be on the charts and you want to get some extra time, spend some time watching you know, dodgy stuff. It's all very good. You know, maybe watch ICT, do some back testing. And then obviously you're doing the right thing, Trader Tips, by being here and watching the iFVGs of the week, because, you know, I try and drop as much sauce as I can in the 25 minutes that this takes. So, yeah. Other than that, guys, unless somebody has, like, the most pressing question ever that I just have to answer, I think I'm going to wrap up here. But JG, I hope you got some value out of that response. The 947 30-second inverse. I do this every week. Yes, I do this every week. Sometimes we open it up for the free people. Sometimes we don't. I was feeling a little bit generous today, so. Is this recorded? Of course. It'll be on my YouTube later today. Alrighty. I will catch all of you later. Have a great rest of your weekend. Stay safe. Peace out, everyone.